Hello, everyone out there in internet land and all you Pops enjoyers. My name is Michael. It is November 10th, 2023, a Friday. I've just spent the last many hours organizing my Pops collection, and I would very much like to give you guys a tour of my collection. And to do something fun, and not just have this be a static video, I want to give away a Pop from my collection. So at the end of the video, I'm going to ask a question related to the video. And first person to answer it correctly in the comment wins a Pop. I will ship it out to you absolutely free if you're in the US. And we'll figure out something else if you're not in the US. But this collection was amassed, well, let's say 85% of this collection was amassed just within the past two and a half months ish. And anyway, I'm ready to sell it. I'm ready to trade it. I'll probably never have this many Pops again. So let's do a tour and remember the good times. So this is why I got into collecting Pops. The horror, the Halloween, the monster Pops. I love this stuff. Yes, I've got a few NFTs in the collection. But let's save that for last. Let's go over here where I've organized all of the DC Pops. So I started with just some Tim Burton Batman movie Pops. And just got nitpicked other stuff I liked. Batman and the animated series stuff. And anything to do with Blackest Night. Shout out to that series. It's still one of my favorite of all time. You can see I got Black Hand and Black and White Lantern Wonder Woman. I also especially like Batman Who Laughs. And these ones, these comic cover pieces are just beautiful. I had to pick these up. I really like this one with Starro the Conqueror. I don't know if you can see little Martian the Manhunter down there, but this was fantastic. There's so much detail and life in that sculpt, considering it's not much bigger than your average Pop. I also really like this Harley Quinn that comes with Hyena Pet holding a severed leg from Birds of Prey. That one was fantastically fun. And then over here, we have the Marvel collection. This stack right here is the collection of Marvel stuff from movies and TV shows. So, besides good old Stan right here, I love this Stan from Guardians. But besides him, I put all my favorites at the top. Alligator Loki, Mystique from the pre-Disney Marvel movies, Meek, because Meek's a great character in the comics, and this one right here, which I gotta show you, because it's so cool. This is a light-up Mysterio. I didn't know they did any light-up Pops. It looks really better in person, but I didn't know they did any light-up Pops. I just thought that was so cool. I got a little hole in the blister packaging, so you can press the button. That one's just really impressive. So here's a few more from the movies and TV shows, and then we go into more of like the comics and the interesting stuff, like Capwolf and Venomized Jack-o'-lantern. I also really like the Gameverse stuff, but I really like the What If and the Infinity Warp style figures. Anytime they do cool, interesting variants of characters, which Funko likes to do a lot, I'm into that. Then when I was collecting early on, a few months ago, when I really started trading, I realized I was just getting a lot of Doctor Stranges, so I figured, why not go ahead and go for Doctor Strange variants? So here we have a stack of Doctor Strange variants, and my first of 3 chase figures in my collection. Then here we have the Mech Strike Monster Hunter characters. I really got these because primarily I'm a Godzilla, Kaiju, Ultraman, Tokusatsu collector, not a Pop collector, and that was just on brand for the stuff I collect. Then here is my Star Wars collection. I do have some of the OG bobbleheads and some newer stuff. I especially like anything with an Ithorian here, with a hammerhead. But I also really like these sets that I've had for a hot minute. Probably hang on to those. I'm also a gamer, and Tekken's one of my favorites. So I have this Tekken collection which is really part of my Tekken collection more than my Pop collection. And if you think Negan and Akuma are out of place, think again. They're actually fully playable characters in Tekken 7, so I had to get them to add to the Tekken collection. The true odd man out is Jesse Pinkman right here. I happen to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so I have to have at least one Breaking Bad pop. I'd have a lot more if they were cheaper and easier to find. But he is authentic, so that's cool. Then, the rest of my video game collection, I've got the box to him sitting somewhere. Shout out to BioShock. I'd love to find a Big Daddy and Little Sister. As you can see, I've got the OG Grail Cortana. She still has her price tag of $11, which is what I paid for her back when she originally came out. I love these Tron figures. These glow-in-the-dark Tron figures look so cool in complete pitch black. I wish they did the same glow effect on the Kingdom Hearts Tron figures. Alright, then going down here, we have a few Pokemon, and one of my few jumbos in the collection, which is Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is number 1, if you know, you know. And then we got a nice collection of Nightmare Before Christmas. My favorite being the Lock, Shock, and Barrel in the bathtub. But I also have a Chase in this collection as well. Then we got some Ghostbusters pops. If you guys saw, there's a trailer to a new Ghostbusters movie that just dropped yesterday. So I'm sure they'll be making more Ghostbuster pops soon. Then moving over here to the start of the anime collection, we got some DBZ. Especially like this meditating, levitating Piccolo. He looks great out of the box. Then we got the Naruto collection. This I'm ready to sell and trade off everything except the Akatsuki cloaks. I'd really like a full collection of everyone wearing an Akatsuki cloak, including Batsmaru. Then we got TMNT, Nuff Said, Turtle Power. I especially like Mikey eating the pizza and April O'Neil in her jumpsuit. Then we got some more pops of anime figures. Just different things. Trigun, Fire Force, Yu-Gi-Oh!, some My Hero. Behind them over here we have my Disney collection. The Maleficents are pretty cool, but my favorite piece in this part of the collection has to be the 420 flocked Earth Day exclusive Tafiti. That's one of my favorites. I also popped some Indiana Jones over here because, you know, Disney owns Indy right now. Then we have my second favorite collection next to the horror collection, which would be the sci-fi collection. Emphasis on aliens, even though I've got a couple Matrix figures snuck in there. I'd love to get more Starship Troopers. That's on my list to find. I got 4 out of the 6 comic book Hellboy figures. As you see, I've got some extra V figures. And my out-of-the-box pop collection right here. Yeah, they're all DC, but they really just didn't fit on the ground over there. So they're a little scuffed up, but I think they're cool, especially Clayface. Then, going down to the floor, we have the Real Heroes collection. Like I said, I'm a Godzilla collector. Most of my Godzilla and Ultraman and Power Rangers pops are boxed up with the Godzilla collection, so this is just what I have out. Chucky here is holding Reptar, and Reptar is a kaiju, so he counts with the kaiju collection. But he's also a toon, so I put him here next to the cartoon collection. Then here we have a bunch of TV show figures, all of which I want to sell or trade off, except for the Beth Harmon, because Queen's Gambit was amazing. We also have my third and final Chase figure. Then on the floor over here in front of the Marvel, we have musical artists. We have some entertainers and creators, a basketball player, and an out-of-place pigeon. And lastly, we have some movies. I have no idea why I have this Harry Potter pop. I want to get rid of it. But also there's a couple of these that I really like. Like, I really like Matthew Patel and the Demon Hipster Chick. I really like Toxie. He glows great. And this guy, who for some reason is called the Kuma Doof Warrior, I would like to get more Mad Max pops too. I'd like to find any Fifth Element pops, speaking of movie pops. Anyway, and then here we have what I really love, which is the Halloween collection. This is the meat of my collection, so let's get into it. So when I was really like getting excited about Pops these past few months, I had to get something from the Heavy Metal Halloween collection. So I got the Jack Carver box, and he came with the Atomic Freddy and this glitter Zombie Freddy, which is my least favorite out of the 3 Zombie Freddys that I own, but I think this guy is my favorite out of these. But he has the best box, because he actually has a Zombie Freddy on the box, as opposed to the other 2 who don't. Then we got some NFTs from the Halloween Series 2, which are pretty cool. I also have an NFT of Zordon. I put him up here with the only other Power Ranger figure I had out, just because he was an NFT, but definitely out of place in the horror collection. Before we get into the little wall of horror, I do want to say that I have 2 Pops in my collection that deserve to be in the horror section. You can see I've got 2 of them. This one right here, Joker from Death of the Family. You know, Joker changes as his character design evolves for every decade and the sensibilities of the readers. And this Joker right here was really inspired by slashers and the horror aesthetic, with his whole face being gone and then re-strapped on. So he's definitely deserving of being in the horror collection. And the second one is a Marvel character. This Marvel Zombies Mysterio, so cool out of the box. He's a bobblehead, just this weird brain breaking out of the fishbowl. He's a zombie. He looks great, and he just fits with that whole horror aesthetic of these creatures. So these guys deserve to be there in the collection. Yes, honey? There's a good girl. All right, so now we have the very first Pops I ever got, which were these guys up here, Freddy and Jason. I have their boxes. They're just not in their boxes right now. But I got these guys, and Pennywise and Saw and OG Michael Myers and all these, along with a bunch of the original yellow box Pops, the DC superheroes. And Pops wasn't as a thing as it is back then as it was now, so I just gave them away. Then I got my stack of creepy ladies in the middle with Queen Elvira at the top. And then some OG Aliens figures. I like all the Aliens figures, even the stuff from the new one. I know that Dr. Frankenfurter goes for a pretty penny now. And then a lot of It stuff. There's my beloved Horror Pops collection. Let's not forget Eddie down there. And then probably the most expensive Pop in my collection right here is this Freddy Funko is Pennywise. I won him from a waffle just like within the last month on a Facebook group, so that was pretty lucky. And then here we have Guillermo del Toro section. His dark gothic fantasy creatures definitely deserve to be here in the horror section. Then we got some bigger pieces like the Queen Alien and Ripley and the Power Loader, and some scenes. I love me some Killer Clowns, by the way. I really want to collect the whole series. The Blacklight stuff looks excellent. And I really like the Resident Evil figures, too. I don't have any of the humans because they're stupid expensive, but they did a really great job on a lot of these guys right here. Zordon's funny, just being ahead. And probably the last thing to focus on would be this right here. Really cool, exclusive, only 1,000 pieces of this Freddy Bitty Pops. Okay, so now on to how you can win something. So I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to give you 3 hints. And it's going to make the question a lot more manageable, because it's going to seem pretty intense at first. The question is, out of everything in my collection, which do you think are my top 3 favorite pops? Okay, I know that sounds daunting, very daunting. Let's narrow it down. So the first hint is that it's going to be a horror, Halloween, or monster pop, something from this section right here. Narrows it down significantly. The second hint is that earlier in the video, I put my absolute favorite pop in the center of the screen and wiggled the camera a little bit. So if you go find where I did that, you should be able to puzzle out one of the pops just from its placement in the camera. And then the third and final hint is that there's something in the pop collection that is not a Funko product, but it's not one of the background shelves things either. Nothing on this shelf. It's actually sitting in with the Pops collection. You guys have seen it plenty of times. And this item has a particular aesthetic to it. And this aesthetic, its design, is a hint to one of my favorite pops. So if you can figure out the thing that isn't a Funko item, that isn't a pop, that's here in the collection, this aesthetic also repeats a number of times in my collection, so that's the hint. Anyway, the character has something to do with that design, and it's kind of one of those, if you know things, but also if you've seen the movie, then you'll know. So there you have it. The first hint is it's going to be on this table. The second hint is that I wiggled the camera with one of the pops in the middle. And the third hint is that there's something that's not a pop that has a design element that relates to another one of my favorite pops. So, first person to comment the 3 pops that are my favorite wins a pop from my collection. We're going to say a horror pop, something from this table. And we'll probably do a random spin or something. I'll write down the names, put them in a jar. We'll pick it at random. So that way you have a chance of getting something that maybe is a little more, a little more common. Shout out to this random zombies hanging out together in my collection. Or a chance to get something that's not common and actually more expensive. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Really, I just wanted to make it for myself to remember when I had all these pops and to do something that would be fun with the community. So, thanks for taking the time to this video. Again, I am selling and trading good 90% of everything in here, so if you're interested in doing a trade or buying something, hit me up. All right, you guys, you have a fantastic, fantastic November. Lots of love. See you again soon.